thus aller is a highly irregular verb. So you would not conjugate it the way I'm going to teach you now. This is another lesson completely. Now you're going to tell me, but what is a passé composé and when do we use a passé composé? The passé composé is an action that took place in the past and is done, gone over with. So you would say in English, I ate a banana this morning. So the fact that you're saying I ate means that it's a past tense and it's a past action, okay? It happened this morning, it did not carry on for a period of time, unlike the imperfect tense. But that's another lesson completely, so be very careful with that. How do you form a passive composé? Now, the way you do it, you have a subject pronoun, which is the je, the tu, the il, and elle. If you're not familiar with subject pronouns, please refer back to one of my lessons.
Hola gente, ¿cómo vamos?
Subject pronoun. Once
Bienvenido a mi canal.
You must decide what
Suscríbete para
as in to be or to
un
have
apoyo
you
al
want to
canal.
use with that verb,
Bienvenido.
because it depends, okay? So, some verbs, regular verbs are used with the
Ahorita me voy a poner a jugar.
avoir, okay, and some verbs are used with être. So avoir is to have, an auxiliary, and être is to be, okay? Now, basically, you have the subject pronoun, you have the auxiliary verb in the present tense, and then you've got what we call the past participle, okay? That's the third part of the passive composé. So, the past participle of the first Greek verbs ends in E with an accent, okay, in its basic form. So if you take a verb such as marcher, what you need to do to have the past participle, you drop the R and you add an accent. And here you have the past participle. So you're going to say, but what is a past participle? In English, it's quite simple. It is when you say I have, and then you use that past participle, walked. Okay, so you added ed. I have eaten. Okay, so you didn't say I have ate or I have eat. You say I have eaten. So you need to know this past participle. Okay, regular verbs, dead easy. Drop the R and add an accent, and then you have your past participle. Okay. Now, it is important to remember that the ending of the past participle will depend on the auxiliary verb you used to form the passé composé. So, with the auxiliary verb avoir, the ending is the same regardless of the gender or number that of the subject. Okay, so it will always be E with an accent. So when you say I have walked, it will be j'ai marché. So still remain E with an accent. Or if you wanted to say we have walked, marché with the E and the accent. So regardless. But when you use an auxiliary verb to be, and some verbs are used with the
Hola gente, ¿cómo vamos? Hey gente, gracias por estar aquí. Hay 11 personitas viéndome. Y hey, gracias, quédense en el directo. Suscríbanse, dale un like, un comentario y un apoyo para el canal también. Eso, un apoyo para el canal. Bienvenido a Undergroundxxzz. Soy de Colombia. Pero gracias por estar aquí. Ahora mismo estoy viendo un video en francés. Bueno, un video de educación para aprender francés.
auxiliary verb to be in the past. When you use this verb, then you need to consider the subject. Is it A, feminine? Is it B, a feminine plural or a plural? This will depend on the ending. Okay, you put either E or ES or S. Okay, that is another story completely, but I just want you to be aware we're going to have a look at two examples here. Okay, the example of the auxiliary, using the auxiliary to have in the past composé, and maybe one example using the auxiliary to be. Okay, now the to be verb, and you will see in a minute, can be movement verbs. Okay, if you're not familiar with with movement verbs, have a look at my lessons on movement verb. Okay, and the other category where you use a passé composé with the auxiliary verb to be is reflexive verb. Okay, like to wash yourself, to look at yourself. These are reflexive, back to you. Okay, I think the best way is to have a look at an example. Okay, the first example I want to use is this verb, chanter. Now, chanter is an ER verb, so that means it's a regular verb, easy to conjugate. Okay, funnily enough, chanter is an irregular verb in English. So, if you wanted to say that in the past in English, you would say, I sang and I have sung. Okay, so be very careful with that. What we are trying to say today is I. Okay, funnily enough, chanter is an irregular verb in English. So if you wanted to say that in the past in English, you would say I sang and I have sung. Okay, so be very careful
La
with that.
gente,
What we are trying to say
¿cómo
today is
vamos?
I have sung. Okay, and sung being
Hey, gente,
past
suscríbanse.
participle because you're using the
Hay una suscripción, suscríbanse,
to have.
subscribe, people.
Okay. In order to do that, I want you to know your
You can help me to
auxiliary
get
verb to have in the present
1,000,
tense. And it is like that.
1,000,
Tu as, il a,
1,000
elle
subscribe,
a, on a,
subscribers.
nous avons, vous avez, ils ont.
That's
So,
my goal.
unless you know how to conjugate this verb in the present tense, you will not be able to form the passé composé. Okay, because this is the yeast of the bread. You must have it in order for me, as a French person, to know.
Rafrina, ¿cómo vamos? Trina. Ah, Irina. Irina mexicano. Hola, Arre. Yo cuando trabajaba con mexicanos aprendí varias palabras que ellos dicen, como arre, como Simón. Me aprendí esas dos. Hola, Dylan, ¿cómo vas? Hey, gente, suscríbanse.
That you're talking in the past tense, an action that took place and is going done over with. So here we go. How do you say I have sung or I sang? By the way, it's exactly the same in French. Okay? You always use these three parts. I have sung. So you put j'ai, I have, and then.
Hola, amigo. Un saludo desde Colombia. Yo pensaba que eras de México, Irina. Pero un saludo de Colombia. Estamos al lado.
Chanter, the past participle. And we know that chanter, you drop the R and you add an accent. Always the same in the regular verbs. Tu as chanté. Il a chanté. Elle a chanté. Nous avons chanté. And on a chanté is the same as il a and elle a. Now, on a is one has sung. Nous avons chanté is we have sung. Vous avez chanté, you have sung. Ils ont chanté and elles ont chanté. Okay, so we've done an example of how to conjugate a regular verb with avoir in the passé composé. Now you can take any examples, for example, marcher if you wanted to that, and trying to say I have walked. How would you say that? You know, yesterday I have walked, or we have walked in the woods this morning. Okay, trying to use regular verb and put it into its past form. Okay, using avoir if it takes avoir. Now you're going to tell me, but how do I know whether it takes avoir or être? Well, it's quite simple. Most of them take avoir in the passé composé. The rest that take être are equal.
Aquí en Colombia hubo un terremoto hace unos días, creo que fue el 10 de agosto, y en las ciudades donde fueron más afectadas fueron Cali, Pereira, Quito, creo. Y hubo muertos, hubo destrucciones, o sea, hubo casas, edificios que se vinieron abajo.
The A, movement verbs, and B, reflexive verbs. Okay, refer back to my lesson on movement verbs. Okay, now let's use the verb using the auxiliary verb to be in the passé composé. I'm going to use a movement verb called entrer, to go in, entrer. Okay, and I'm going to show you that it's not as easy as that when it comes to their past participle. Same thing, entrer, which is a regular verb, you drop the R and you add an accent. However, and depending on the subject pronoun you use, you have to add either an E or an S. Okay, let's have a look at this. Je suis entré. Now remember, this verb, because it is a movement verb, is using the auxiliary verb to be, which is je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont,
La gente,
sont. Okay, so je suis entré. I have entered, or I entered. So I know that it's very confusing because in your language, English, if it's your language, you're saying I have entered. Okay, and you're not saying I am entered. Good, but it's completely different. Okay, the action is different here. We want to say I entered yesterday or I just entered. Okay, so we're using the passé composé. Now you can either put an E.
vamos a apagar esto, vamos a ponerlo así. Hola. Hola, ¿cómo vas? Disculpa que esté. Tengo el foco apagado. Oh. Hola. Gracias. Romper el foco. Gracias por esa suscripción, Adrián. Prendí el foco para ustedes. Estoy jugando FIFA.
My name is Derek Ray, and joining me for commentary, ready to provide all the tactical intricacies, is Sim Smith. And without doubt, a match with the potential to bring genuine excitement. It's Colombia versus Ecuador.
It's a real pleasure to be here, to be buzzing ahead of kick-off. Let's hope the football lives up to the atmosphere.
Just across. How do they let that attack come to an end?
Yeah, nice build, but they just lack that end product. Stop that one in its tracks.
The offside here.
Offside. Sí. Sí, de Colombia.
And here's how the lineup looks for Ecuador.
Well, it looks like a 4-2-3-1 when they're in possession. They go to a 4-5-1 when defending. I think the double pivot in midfield, they're keen to protect the back
¿Tú de dónde eres, Adrián?
to support the press. There's going to be plenty of threat from the wide midfielders too, I'm sure.
Might take the lead. And it would have been quite the dramatic moment at this stage of the game.
Oh, he was disappointed in that.
Sí.
Into him a little bit early.
Ay, Dios. Metieron gol. Sí. Yo lo sentí. Yo sentí el terremoto. O sea, sentí un temblor en la costa. Yo estoy en la costa. Yo estoy en la costa. Entonces el terremoto pasó en el interior del país, que es en Cali y en Pereira. Pero yo sentí el temblor breve, fue muy leve el temblor que sentí. Pero en las otras ciudades sí se sintió fuerte. Se la apagó el brother. So, era para gol. Estoy jugando FIFA. Es que no tengo una. Si yo tuviese una setup, o sea, una computadora,
Good progress. What can he do with it? Chances on.
¡joda! ¡Gol, marica!
Implement the magic.
Sí, brother. Voy a tirar tiro a esquina, brother. Casi le meto un gol.
Something out of teammate. Well, the keeper really taking charge. Was never going to be denied. After challenge. Good distribution. Flag raised. Offside it is. Textbook example of how to cut it out. He has options available. And the goal!
¡Joda! Metí otro gol.
Sees the ball dropping again. 2-0. Roker. Ball to Caicedo. Cross out of Plata. The attack looks promising.
Gracias.
Good defending it
Gracias
was.
por el apoyo.
Trying his luck. It's almost like
Gracias por el apoyo, Dylan.
Munoz.
Con ustedes vamos a llegar a los 1000 suscriptores.
Intervention. Put the ball back.
La verdad es que yo estoy streameando bastante en YouTube. Debería ser más contenido, pero no lo estoy haciendo. Vamos a ver, tiene otro gol. Me he hecho 3 goles ya. Debería hacer más contenido, pero es que no sé cómo hacer, o sea, no es que no sepa. No sé de qué hacer contenido. Tengo que tener como una buena computadora para editar los videos. Pero ahora me estoy dedicando a stream. Ey, me ha hecho 3 goles esta gente. También tengo otros canales de YouTube que están en mi perfil, si lo pueden observar, que es de videojuegos. Yo estoy streameando ahora mismo con la Play en mi otro canal de YouTube. Estoy streameando FIFA. Tengo otro canal de mi perro, Tengo otro canal de inteligencia artificial. Tengo otro canal de videojuegos, pero ese no le estoy metiendo contenido porque tengo un problema ahí. O sea, yo le meto videos largos a este canal, es porque yo grabo la pantalla de mi celular, pero el celular mío no tiene la aplicación del teléfono de grabación de pantalla y la tengo que como descargar por la Play Store, pero estas aplicaciones son muy malas, entonces tengo que conseguir como un celular que tenga esa aplicación ya con el celular, pero no tengo dinero. Mami, hicieron 3 goles.
So the second half begins. Who will steal the show? Sean Yeboah. As promised. That is how we keep it out of the net.
Well, tremendous situation there. Very top class, wasn't it?
Jefferson Lerma. Arias. He's won the ball.
La gente, vale, cuídate.
Too much space on the flank. That's it across into the centre. That's showing good game awareness. Oh, danger here. Now breaking in pace. Potential danger. Feeding it through. In possession.
Puta, se la voy a meter. Ah, se la metí.
Exactly what
Va, hice un gol. Me toca meter 3 goles más. O hacer el empate. Tengo que empatar el partido. Vamos a empatar el equipo. El partido.
Possibilities for them to counter. Showing a great defensive instinct. We're into the final half hour. Referee had a good view of that one. Delivered into the box. Well, they had the ball once more. Moises Caicedo. Luis Javier Suarez. Or can they be creative from here?
Uf. Guau, casi le meto el gol, brother. Dios.
Caicedo. Oh, surely! Well, I must say, I wondered if that was going to be the hat-trick.
He's having a brilliant game, but you can see he wants more. He's ruthless. Not on target
Moves at the centre. Still pressure. And ready discomforted by the press. Suarez. Who can he play it to? Thinking of the situation. How can he get on the end of this one? Ready to
Wow. Wow. Hicimos el gol, man.
Well, this all starts the period when it's forward to the top. It's perfect. And once it's through, there's no second guessing. Straight up power. An absolutely toxic massive keeper. That's a proper striker's finish.
Suarez. Puts in strongly, decisively. That's a good pass. In possession. Oh, they've got one man. He's an accident to make in this
Wow.
contest. They haven't
Pero como
been
le voy a
out
meter
courageous this evening.
2 goles más en 5 minutos. Wow.
See it again. Sometimes it's just one in two minds. Just swinging it just hurts, but the keeper had no chance.
He takes it away. And 1 minute of stoppage time has been added on. Oh, it's a great challenge at all there. And there it is, the final whistle. Not what the home fans were hoping for before a ball was kicked today. To be correct.
This was
Two teams are ready to go head to head in a match brimming with excitement. It's a showdown you don't want to miss. Well, hello and thanks for joining us here at Wembley. I'm Guy Mowbray. It's a pleasure to be joined by Stuart Robson in the commentary box. And with the atmosphere building up nicely, what a match this promises to be. What are we going to get from this one?
Well, that's always I'm looking forward to this. Both teams have strong aspects to their game. Both managers like to play attacking football, and we've got some good matchups all over the pitch.
Comes in now. Taking it now. Well stopped and safely away. Away from danger it goes. This is the English team. Jordan Pickford stands between the posts. Declan Rice plays with Jude Bellingham in central midfield. And the main striker is Harry Kane. That hasn't been decisively dealt with. And set up the chance. Keeper's done really well to keep that out. And it's on here. Behind in close quarters.
Yeah, that's goalkeeping at its very best. So quick to react now.
Just over the bar.
Just forget about it. Good effort, though.
That's the tackle. He knows it. very short space of time, Jude Bellingham has become one of football's most influential players. What can we expect to see from this one?
Well, is there a better strike for the ball from distance? He really does hit such power and accuracy, and I'm sure we're going to see that again today.
Alonso. Moving in quickly and moving forward. But it will now be tidied up and cleared away. Bellingham. He's in here. Just finished.
Oh, va. Sí, ¿qué pasó?
Through that wide now for Dutre. Straight away. Across the line, it's been thrown. And there's Iniesta. Now he needs to put the ball in. Chances, but not too much better than that.
Well, not quite the finish I thought we'd get there. It's a really good move.
Jude Bellingham. In the right position to cut out the pass. Here you go. That's as precise as they come. Goalkeeper gathers the ball in easily. This could get interesting. Gets the score. It's a pretty good save by the keeper. Goalkeeper played in. That should take his hands. Obviously possession this. Having a look. And the keeper makes the save. Really, we shouldn't have expected anything else. Now, what can they do from here? Waiting in the centre. Read that well, stopping any danger.
Yeah, he read that brilliantly, didn't he?
This could be threatening. Makes a head now. That's a penalty. And with it, the chance for the victory. And the
Qué
goal
gonorrea,
yeah,
man.
not the cleverest bit of defending, was it? Make it 1-0. They have paid the penalty. It's been dispatched.
Very close. Just wait for him to make it move and then strike it home.
Steps. Onto Royce. Moved it down well. The room here is promising. And it's taken away. Terrific. That's a good pass. We can get caught out on the break here. James. Now Saka. Good looking ball played in. The pass is incomplete. Nicely won. He's managed to keep it in. It's ugly in there. Nobody wants it. It's broken up.
Well, they defended that really well. He was very organised there.
Lovely set up. And it's been well watched by the goalkeeper. 11 into the box. That's solid goalkeeping. Did really well to hold it. Oh, could be a chance here. Xavi Alonso. Here you go. Oh, trying to power it in. When composure was surely the key. That's going to be all for the first half here at Wembley. Off we go again. The second half begins. That's a nice forward-thinking pass. Well, it looked good. The defending was even better. Andres Iniesta. Puts it to the middle. Bit of a disappointing end to the attack. Good work, they got it back. Now, can he get the crossing? Really good goalkeeping there.
Ay, no la regalé.
Really well won.
O será para empate.
Andres Iniesta. Good advantage played by the ref. Has to turn it around.
Ay, ey.
Clear or clear. Not a good attack.
Well, guys, probably the wrong segment there. It's way off target. Well, the stats tell you everything. England just haven't done enough in possession, and that's why they're trading here. They need to improve and quickly.
All the respectable first half showing from Paulo Friso there, but he made a few secret.
He took his goal well and was a constant threat throughout that first half. Michael showed a lot of skill to get out of tight situations. He had a real impact on the play.
It's in. Two to the good. That lifts with a bumper. And it's just a matter of keeping concentration there.
Me
Without
regala.
anticipation. That's going to be a free kick. It's Vince. That's not going to cut it. Setting up the chance. Bellingham.
Wah, wah, no me dejes.
Showing the momentum is with them now. Incredible.
Voy a empatar estos manos.
This is all about his ability to learn space in the box, which then makes the finish so much easier. That's good play for him.
Xavi. Xavi Alonso. Promising pass.
Plays on.
Iniesta. Terrific bit of blocking. Could be a chance to break it. Andres Iniesta. Once already, the second goal must be coming.
Hola, hola. Was.
Xavi. Puts it through. Now, conversion needed. It's a piece of stop by the goalkeeper. That's a corner. With the chance to get their noses even further in front. Well, a decent effort. Not quite the contact he was looking for, and it's comfortably wide in the end. Into the last 20 minutes. Now this might be promising.
Wow.
Breathing space.
Qué puta madre.
Off we go then. 3-1 the score now.
vamos. Vamos, vamos. Pégala, pégala. Uy, la metí. Joda. Papi, tengo chance. 15 minutos.
Jimmy played in with that. Central line for a corner. Delivered.
Ey, eso es malo. Eso es malo. Joda.
Really good interception to take the ball. What a chance. And there's that.
Joda, metieron el gol. Mierda, culé de cachones,
Ball
man.
now. 4-2 as the ball gets rolling again. Harry Kane.
Ay, ay. Joda. Cachón.
That has been cleared away.
Yeah, that's not the area to mess about. Good clearance.
Really nicely played. What do they do with this now? It's pretty fine there. Jimmy takes it into the area now. Well, that's how to clear it. Just 5 minutes remaining. Into the area it goes. But in the end, it proves to be right in the keeper's zone. Take things forward a notch here. That's been woefully overhit. And over the byline, goal kick to come. Making a change here. Bellingham. Surely now.
Joda.
And everything that they've shown us
Qué
today.
cachones, man.
The game gets
Joda.
going once more at 5-2.
Joda, tiene intriga.
Goes on, that's the defender. Oh, penalty given here.
Joda, culo de munda.
And he's going to be sent off as well. Second booking.
And it doesn't complain, can it? It's a silly challenge.
A few steps to settle this. And they have paid the penalty. It's been dispensed.
Joda, qué partida asquerosa. Joda, qué puta mundada. Bueno, gracias por ver el en vivo. Ahí nos vemos.